So here's the idea. We're going to do 2 people. We're going to do the project for 2 people. One of the persons is going to be you when you have the job you want. All right. So you're going to school right now to get presumably some job. You're going to figure out what that job on average makes, or the median number. And then you're going to compare that to a high school graduate who is making $22,500 for the remainder of their career. Okay. So that's the difference. Is one of the differences that you will presumably have more promotion opportunities and that kind of thing. So you'll get pay increase. This high school student is just locked in at 22,500. All right. I'll go ahead and tell you I'll never be able to answer any questions about the high school student because everyone's going to use that number. So I can't help you with that. All right. But I can help you a little bit with yours. All right. First step, first things first, and that is we need to find a job on this website that you presumably want to. So whatever degree program you're in or whatever you're thinking about, that's the job that you're going to pick, and you're going to find on the salary on this website. Okay. Now I've had many students go, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. You just got to pick something for the project. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you got to pick something. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. So my next step is to find the salary for that job. All right. We're gonna find a house for that person. So we have an APR for their house. They're gonna have a 30-year mortgage, and they're gonna spend 28% of their monthly income on that house. So we know the payments. So then we can find the maximum loan that they could do because it's 28% of their income. Then we can do all these comparison statements between the high school graduate who's making 22,500 and your chosen profession. Okay, so we can make a lot of that. Another step we're going to do is we're going to research a city that we want to live in. We're going to pick a house, and then we're going to find the monthly payments. And then we're going to talk about how much of our income goes into that. All right, so that's a little bit different. It's kind of looking at the other way. All right. For this project, you have to pick a city in the United States. All right. You may want to live somewhere else, and that's totally fine. But for this project, I need you to pick a city in the United States. All right. So you want to live anywhere in the world? Totally fine with me. But for the project, you have to pick a city in the United States. It might be Bloomington. I don't know. Or it might be Lawrence, or it might be Indianapolis, or it might be Seattle, or it might be San Francisco, or it might be Mobile, Alabama. I don't know. You have to pick it, but you have to pick one in the United States. Please don't pick Paris. Okay, for this project has to be United States. All right. So from that, we're going to pick a city. We're going to pick a house. I'll show you. Hopefully, I'll have time. I'll show you where to do that. We're going to do a retirement program, and we're going to do a salary increase. All right, that's a lot to do. So let's get going. So I'm going to pick my job. All right. And there's all kinds of different categories that you can look at. And then you can also just search it. Okay. All right. Don't do this now. Now you're just following along. But right now, you would think I'd want to pick math, but I'm not going to pick math. I'm going to pick education. And I'm going to pick, I need post-secondary teacher. Here we go. And this gives you a pretty good, that's not the real number for my job, but this gives you, if you want to work with just that number, it'll have that for most professions. That's totally fine. You can also, if you're interested, and hopefully you are, you can, find much more detailed information. In fact, you can even go to state. You can go to state, and then here, this is all about teaching in college. So you see that I did that. So math post-secondary, and it's broken down into states. You can do that as well. So if you're interested, you can really break this down. If you're not interested, you can just pick that first value that you see there. This is Bloomington, Illinois. For my project, I'm just going to steal it. I'm going to steal that number. So Bloomington, Indiana, Bloomington, Illinois, half a dozen of one. Right? They're pretty close. These are pretty close numbers. Okay. That's not what I make. That's the job I want. Okay. Let's be perfectly clear. That's not the amount I make now. That's the amount I'm hoping to make. Okay. So let's get that project started. So I need to share my screen a little differently. Okay. So start my project. And here we go. Okay, so I have two people that I'm figuring this out for. For me, I'm going to do math professor, math prof, and high school grad. And I'm not going to help you with this. Okay, but you're going to have it. And how much did that math professor make? Try to save it. Okay, that's their salary. All right, maybe I'll move that over. Okay, there we are. Let's do monthly salary equals divided by 12. Okay, that's their monthly salary. Now, the project, let's go back to the project. The project says that we're going to spend 28% of our monthly salary on our mortgage. Okay, so let's do that. So 28% of monthly equals times 28%. Okay, there's our monthly. All right, so looking good. Now we can start doing the home loan. We've got pretty much everything we need from that website that we found. If you want to get super fancy, and I hope that you do want to get super fancy, I don't know if you can see this, but you can actually save the URL, or maybe keep this in mind for future projects that you might have in college. You can do a little hyperlink thing. This is something I like to do when I'm presenting, like for other teachers and people at Ivy Tech. I like to, whenever I'm referencing something, I like to have that. So you don't have to do this for the project, but might as well show you. You can do that. You can do that in Word or anything like that, but I like to do that. So if I'm referencing a value, if they're interested, they can find where I found that. Anyway, so both of these people, okay, both of these people will have the same APR, and that was what, 1.7%, and the time in years is 30. Okay, so both of them have that. Okay, so home loan with these boundary conditions is PV, and then the rate divided by 12, 12 by 30, and this person can pay that monthly. So that is the maximum amount that they could borrow without a down payment. That's the maximum. They probably have to pay 20% of that. That's the maximum that they could do that. All right. You're going to do that also for the high school grad. You're going to figure out all of that for the high school grad, but it's just the same thing over again. Okay. All right. You're going to compare and contrast the maximum of their home loan versus the job that you've chosen. Absolute and relative change statements will need to be stated. But yeah, once you do that, you can start comparing them. All right. Now, the next thing is I want to research a city that I want to live in and pick a house and kind of do everything the opposite. All right. So is it perfect? No, but I'm going to go to Zillow.com and I'm going to find a house that I want to live in. All right. All right. So where do I want to live? I don't know. Bloomington, Indiana. Sounds good. So I pick a house I want to live in. I don't know. None of these look too bad. This one doesn't look finished. All right, let's pick this really expensive one. All right, this one is 700. That way, at least you can see the comparison. Okay, so we have a house for 719,000. I can remember that. Go back. Okay. And I hope that you will do better than I'm doing right now and kind of ordering things, but I'm doing like a speed run right now to do this. So Bloomington House was what? It was $719,000. Okay, and then if we want to get fancy, you can even do a hyperlink on that. All right, and if you're presenting something at work or something like that, like what I do, that's one of the things I like to do. So the Bloomington house is really expensive. What would be the monthly payments on that? All right, so monthly payments on that house equals, let's go back. I know I'm going fast, but I have to because I only have like 5 minutes to do this. APR is the same, so the APR is 1.7 and it's still 30 years. All right, cool. So I want to find the payments on that house. And that is 1.7%. I should just click that. Divide by 12. 12 by 30 years. And is it going to let me do it? No. In cell B7. All right, so the monthly payments are $2,551. Okay, but I only had $1,491.93. So part of it is you have to find what is the percentage of your monthly salary going to this. Okay, so again, I'm going way too fast, but I only have 5 minutes to do it. So percent of payments, we'll do this divided by this. And I can turn that into a percentage if I choose, and I do choose. So that's 48%. So almost half. If I bought that really expensive house, almost half of my salary, monthly salary, would be going to the house. That's not insurance. That's not taxes. That's not repairs, anything like that. That's just the straight mortgage. Okay. Okay. So that is that portion of the project. Okay, now calculate the percentage of the gross monthly. We did that. Next thing would be the retirement account. All right, so 4% of our monthly income goes into the retirement account. How much would you expect in the annual return if it's 899? All right, so for the retirement account, let's call it 401k. The rate is 899. Okay, and the time was 30 years. 32 years. Yeah, okay, so we can do that too. 401k. And what function do we use when we do a retirement account? FV function. All right, so that is 899 divided by 12. 12 by 32 minus it was 4% of our monthly. So I'm just going to hit 4% times monthly salary. There. That's what would be in the 401k after those 32 years. Okay. All right. And you're going to do that for the high school student. And you're going to compare those with absolute and relative change statements. And you're going to report how you calculated that. All right, and the last portion is the salary increase. Consider that you're working for the company gives you two options. You could take a wage increase of 1.5% of your salary, or you could take a lump sum of $825. So, we can either take the lump sum or we can take the percentage. So what was the percentage? 1.5%. That's equals 1.5% times our salary. It's $959. Or we can take the lump sum of 825. For this person, they should take the percentage. Okay, because $959 is larger than 825. So they should take the percentage. You're going to do that for the high school grad as well. All right. Okay, that is a speed run of the project.